Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the all new TTown 411 report and our community conversations. We're broadcasting live from the McKinstry studio and we're broadcasting live from Soundbooth Radio 106.1. Waiting on our good friend Mike to chime in with us and let us know how you can chime in on Soundbooth Radio and Soundbooth TV. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, on Soundbooth YouTube TV channel, and we're also um, sounding in on the Soundbooth Radio. Hopefully, we'll get Mike up very soon on the program. But as always, we have our very own Miss Veronica Taylor on the program with us tonight, and she's going to tell us the COVID update and all the health screen things going on. How's it going, Veronica?
Going good, Daryl. How are you tonight?
Good. How's it making?
That's good. That's good. Hopefully, Michael call on in here. We're gonna have to get on to him.
Yeah.
The COVID-19 update per the New York Times as of today, February 9th, 2023. The latest trends show an average of 1,403 cases per day were reported in Alabama in the last week. So that's an increase from last time, the last report. Cases have increased by 28% from the average of 2 weeks ago. Deaths continue to decrease, and they're down by 57%. The monkeypox update per the CDC as of today, well, no, as of Wednesday, yesterday, they're going to start updating. I think it's every 2 weeks now, so that report remains the same. Alabama is at 187. Nationwide, we're at 30,123. The influenza update per the Alabama Department of Public Health for the week ending February 4th, they're reporting weekly. So for February 4th, 2022, flu-like illnesses are at 2.73%, which is a slight decrease from last week. I think it was 2.74. So that continues to come down and is also below the average for the 2022-2023 baseline for Alabama. So that's good. I want everybody to remember to wash your hands, distance, sneeze in your sleeve, stay home when you're not feeling well. If you have a temp, stay home until that temp is normal for 24 hours before going out around others. There's a few things in medicine that's going on right now. I saw a report that they've talked about yesterday and today. Um, with the football players, and Tua got the injury. I think was it twice there that he was hit.
Yeah, the concussion.
So yeah, because they can't check for that until after the football player has passed away. So they found that about 92% of the ones they checked, were positive. Or, well, I won't say positive because it's not like that, but they showed signs, that they had the traumatic brain injury. So, I don't know. I think in 2005, they said that the NFL was aware of this, but the first player was a Pittsburgh Steelers player that they diagnosed with it, with this with CTE. And 2016, before the Congress, the NFL admitted that they were aware of it. So I don't know what they're going to do. They implemented new protocols, and I'm curious to know what's going to go on with Tua. And I know football players want to play, and a lot of them know about it, and they still want to play. And I just don't know what they're going to do to protect them better. I don't know. I guess the equipment. They changed a lot of rules as far as the types of hits and things like that. And they can get you fined, they can get you ejected. But once the hit is made, the hit is made. And so I think boxers, anybody who's hit like that a lot, there's a scare about
effect.
that.
Yeah, long-term effect.
Yeah, right. And I was just surprised to see that 92% of the players that they checked for, because like I said, they can't check them until after they've passed away. But they say that if you do have unexplained rage, that's one of the symptoms that they've noticed. People kind of just snap. Um, they're not interested in things anymore. They have suicidal thoughts. And, and that's kind of hard because that could be anybody. So I don't know. Just pray for the babies because a lot of kids. That's why they get started. Right. They started as children playing football. So by the time the ones do reach the NFL, by the time they get there, they have a lot of hits.
Yes, it is.
And then they have a career, maybe about 10 years or more, some of them more than that, and so CTE is very, it's a complicated matter, and I don't know how we're going to handle it.
Okay. Well, we thank you for that update. We thank you for those conversations about the long term. We're going to talk about that more because I'm just curious, and I'm not going to go into depth about it. I'm just curious how many basketball players have knee replacement and hip replacements.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious
Yeah.
about that.
We've seen some serious basketball injuries, especially the legs in the past.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Let me go ahead and make our disclaimer, copyright disclaimer. Upon Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tip balance in favor of fair use. And I always like to say the opinions expressed in this presentation are my personal opinions and must not be construed as representing the opinion of any institution with which I am or have been affiliated in my professional life, as well as Veronica's and Mike and everyone else on here. Just a matter of having a personal opinion about anything relating to anything in America. So it don't necessarily mean it's the opinion of anything that I'm affiliated. We're also broadcasting on the Community Conversation channel as well as the Sound Booth Radio. If you will, just join in with me for a quick, short prayer. We always in need of prayer, and I just want to go ahead and say a quick prayer before. We're still waiting on our good friend Mike to chime in with us. He hadn't chimed in, and we might have to give him a call and see if there's anything going on. But right now, if you will, just join in. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to come on the airways and share valuable information. Heavenly Father, we just want to give you all the praise, give you all the glory. We thank you for your grace and we thank you for your mercy, Heavenly Father. Give us breath today to go out and do these things that we're doing. Heavenly Father, right now we're praying right now a special prayer for the Lee and the Wells family. We're praying for those that are going through bereavement right now, Heavenly Father. Those that have lost a loved one, we're praying for all of them and let them know that you're in charge, and we're asking that you bring them up where they're weak, Heavenly Father. Right now we have no answers to what's going on in this world, Heavenly Father, but we know you know all things. You are the light and the truth. Heavenly Father, we're praying for the sick right now, the sick and the shed in, all our elderly family members, all the ones that are in the nursing home, all those in the hospital beds right now, Heavenly Father, we're asking for your healing hand. We're praying for all the essential workers right now, all our military personnel, all our first responders, our police and fire. Heavenly Father, we just ask that you continue to bless and watch over and defend each one of them. Heavenly Father, we're praying for everyone that's on this program with us. We're praying that you continue to watch over them. We're saying a special prayer right now for the Bates family right now. Heavenly Father, go with them also. Heavenly Father, we give you all the praise and all the glory. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, somebody was calling. I don't know if it was Mike. Mike called back and caught me. I think that was Mike. I wasn't able to see. There he is. Okay, Mike, you there? You there, Mike?
Hey there. Hey there. How you doing?
Good. Okay. See you on backstage there, and I see you. We've said our prayer. We got our COVID update. We praying for all the people that lost a loved ones. We praying for your family and everyone to get through what's going on. Tell them how can they sound in on Soundbooth Radio and Soundbooth TV, Mike.
Sure thing, Daryl. To check us out on the radio side of Soundbooth Radio, just go to your iOS or your Google Play Store, download the Live 365 app. Once you download that app, then you go to the search bar, type in Soundbooth Radio 106.1. That'll get you on with us on the radio side of Soundbooth Radio. Check us up on the video side is just go to your YouTube or to Facebook, Michael K. Wilson or Sound Booth Radio 106.1. And you can type that in for YouTube as well, 106.1, Sound Booth Radio 106.1. And that'll get you on with us on the video side, Sound Booth Entertainment.
Well, Mike, we thank you each and every week for joining us on the program and keeping us up to date of what's going on in America. We really appreciate you, and Lady T, and all the rest of the family and friends that join in. Thank you all that has joined in with us and giving everyone an opportunity. We're going to talk tonight about the school walkout at Hillcrest High School. And we're going to also talk about the tax referendum and get into that. I see quite a few people have joined in with us. If you would like to join the conversation, you can call in on the numbers and I will put them up. But before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and do our announcements in relations to what's some of our black business owners that has been providing us with their business cards, and we just want to make sure we recognize them before we get into it. We want to thank Miss Aliciana Jackson. She has a Jack's Party Rental, Party Central. She has a Party Central. She do personalized gift baskets and party rentals and more. So you can call her at 205-259-6160 or you can email her at jackspartyc@gmail.com, or you can go to the website of www.jackspartycentral.com. That'll get you in contact with her. She's having a third annual Valentine's Day pop-up shop this coming Sunday, February the 12th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Gazelle's Production, located at 4029 Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And there's a $50 vendor's fee. If you need more information, you can call 205-886-1462. Once again, 205-886-1462. That'll get you in contact with them about the upcoming third annual Valentine's Day pop-up shop. There will be music, food, shopping, networking, and door prizes. So, once again, it's going to be held at Gazelle's Production, located at 4029 Greensboro Avenue here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Also, don't forget about my good friends over at Thomas Rib Shack here in Tuscaloosa. They are also a longtime business owner of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We want to thank them for being a very good sponsor of the program. And my good friends over at Catfish Heaven said they want people to know that they've been around for 29 years. 29 years. They've been serving since 1993 right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's a long time. So next year will be 30. No, this year's 30 years. 30 years. I'm not sure exactly what day, but they're on their 30th year anniversary. Pretty much coming up real soon. Also, don't forget about my good friend at Ogden's Transport LLC. Ogden's Transport LLC, a good friend of ours, Carlos Vegas. He's the business owner of Ogden's Transport LLC. So if you need anything transported. Hey, we got a good friend of mine, George Davis. He has a program, a small business called Alabama Breathable Air. Alabama Breathable Air. Alabama Breathable Air, and it's a very interesting business, and we're gonna get him on the program real soon and tell a little bit more about it. Some of the questions he said: does anyone in your household have a severe snoring problem? Does anyone in your household have asthma? Does anyone in your household use a CPAP machine? Do your pets live inside? Does anyone in your household suffer from severe sinus? Does anyone in your household suffer from COPD? Do you see particles floating in the air when a ray of light shines through the window? Have you ever had water damage in your home? Have you ever seen mold spots on your wall or ceiling? If your answer is yes to at least one of these above questioning, then scan this QR code below to view a YouTube video about something that could change your life. For a free home inspection and more about this possible life-saving technology, please contact my good friend George Davis. He's EPA certified at 205-792-9376. Once again, that number is 205-792-9376. There is absolutely no charge for this inspection and shared information. I thank God for allowing it to be shown to my family and I in time. So please, please, please contact my good friend George, and we will be advertising this quite often on the program also. Don't forget about my good friend, Miss Michelle Knox, over at Array Sunshine Candles. She has a very good business in Moundville, Alabama, Array Sunshine Candle Company, and they do have a storefront. They do have their very own storefront right now in Moundville, Alabama. So congratulations to them. And she's having a Valentine candle making party. And this is on Saturday, February 11th from 3 to 5 and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's $30 per person. You get to make your own, very own candle. Food and fun provided. Must pre-register by February the 8th. So if you didn't get a chance to register by yesterday, you might not be able to participate in it. I want to say hello to my good friend Belinda Hargraves and Sheila Willis. Thank y'all for chiming in. And don't forget about my good friend, Stavato Temple. She has the Star Sexy Shades, and she will be at the Cypress Inn Pavilion. There's a fashion show that's going to take place at the Cypress Inn Pavilion this Saturday, February 11th. That's located at 601 Rice Mine Road here in Tuscaloosa. I've been a participant in this fashion show, and it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a very great show. Good show. A lot of young candidates, young possible modeling candidates, will be taking the walkway on Saturday. So please, 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 if you would like to get tickets, get in contact with me. This is a great show. It's called the Models Ball Fashion Show, and it's going to be a great show here in Tuscaloosa. I think it's almost sold out. So if you hadn't got tickets, you need tickets, please come by or let me know and I'll get in touch with you there. I'm going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back, and we'll talk about what happened at Hillcrest High School right after this.
All right, sound good.
Tuscaloosa, get ready for the TTown Memorial Day Weekend Blues and Grill Festival, Saturday, May 27th at Palmore Park, featuring O.B. McKenna, Avail Hollywood,
Is you 25 and
Arthur Young, Tucker,
They call me Tucker.
TK Soul, Miss Jody, plus Donnie Ray and the J. Morris Group. Also a special guest.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, LJ Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
Hello?
Hey Rick, I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh. All I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
For over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222 or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Also, don't forget about my good friend Clint the Gent. Clint the Gent, if you're looking for a professional DJ, don't forget about my good friend Clint the Gent. He is a professional when it comes to DJing and entertaining. Also, don't forget about my good friend Stephanie Bryant. She's a notary public that will, she do travel. Um, she's a notary signing agent. She do loan documents, refinances and mortgages, trust, power of attorney, acknowledgement, bank forms, titles, bill of sale. You can contact her at 334-507-2842. Yes. 334-507-2842. That's Stephanie Bryant. You can contact her at stephanie.t.bryant1@gmail.com and she will come to you. And Mike, I guess basketball, the Dream City Basketball Academy has kicked off and getting ready to get started. Looking forward to hearing a lot of good things about the Dream City Basketball Academy. So,
yeah, we stopped the registration that Saturday. I think we had pretty close to 160 to 180 kids
okay.
that got signed up. So everything is going good with that. So as we get everything started and get everything going, we'll let you know how everything's going over there.
160 to 180?
Yes.
That's good.
That's fantastic.
That's good.
That's fantastic. Are we ready to talk about the Hillcrest situation, or do we want to talk about the property tax referendum, or both all at the same time? I just wanted to bring a couple facts out about the referendum. Is that
well? We do have on the line also. We have Lisa Young on the line with us,
okay.
And because she was out at the walkout yesterday at Hillcrest High School, and myself with Lisa Young and Veronica were at the meeting that we had pertaining to the Black History program over at Hillcrest on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So it was a whole lot of things that came out in that particular meeting. Some things had I know had me really irate, just upset when you had some of those young people telling about the treatment that they were receiving, and it was not just only about the program in itself. It was a bigger issue that's going on, not only at Hillcrest, but as my understanding, at a majority of the county schools. So that was one of the big things. Also, to the point where we had one young lady, she passed out. Mm. She was telling her story, and Lisa.
Yeah, Mike.
Did y'all know that she?
Yeah, yeah. That's what happens. That's sort of like the equivalent of PTSD. When you saw the heavy breathing, the shaking, the fluttered voice, those kids have been traumatized. And I hate to say kids, but they're kids to me. I'm about to be 54. They're kids to me. But the young people. Mm-hmm. And as Mike was saying, and reports, this started off about the Black History program, but it quickly morphed into a climate of racial insensitivity over there at that school. Learning that the school was 55% African American and not one Black administrator. As Mike was saying, the things that we heard were absolutely deplorable. We have one young lady that has been taken off. She's been told she cannot be on the Black History program. And what I learned was, and I'm going to say allegedly, a complaint came in from another student that happens to be a child of one of the board members.
Hmm.
Who was not, I would venture to say this child was not in the rehearsal for the Black History program. The principal and the assistant principal are unjustly punishing this young lady.
I'm sorry, Lisa, I just want to put that caveat there. This young lady was actually one of the ones that spearheaded the Black History program for the last 2 years prior to this year.
Mm.
And she said that the assistant principal told some students that she felt uncomfortable at last year when they talked about the Black Panthers, because the Black Panthers were a hate group, and it made her feel bad because she was scared of them as a child. And I'm thinking, did you think the Klan was a hate group? Were you scared of the Ku Klux Klan? We had one young lady, and I'm just sharing some stories that were shared with us, and definitely no name. Was told, she said she was tired and fatigued, and was told to basically drop out of school. Just drop out of school. You had another young lady that menstrual cycle came on that was written up, and she brought her write-up slip because she insisted on going to the bathroom to take care of her personal needs. Um, just crazy stuff that you're like, why is this happening in this school? Dancing that was strutting or strolling that the Greek fraternities do was said to have been vulgar dancing. And I've seen some of the reports where the principal has so they're gonna talk to the kids. They've already done it. It's just sound bites to appease the media.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids have been trying to advocate for themselves, and that's the reason why they started reaching out, because they were being shut down every step of the way. The principal, let me say this, Mike. The principal lied. He lied. If what the superintendent told me today when I went down to the county board of education, uh, she bumped into me. She didn't want to set up a meeting with me. Told me she would meet with me on the 23rd, but the Black History program is on the 22nd, and she knows that that's a pressing issue. So to tell me you're meeting with me on the 23rd, you trying to be funny. So I saw her when I went down to the board. She just in the hall ran right into me. Well, the principal said he gave y'all a reason why she couldn't perform. I said, ma'am, I was there. That is not true. Y'all need to follow the grievance policy. Okay, but if y'all haven't provided her with an excuse as to why she can't perform, what are you appealing? So it's those type games, and it's indicative of the climate that's at that school and why those kids felt so impelled to walk out, to bring attention. Now that they bring attention, they're fluttering. And you mentioned the tax referendum. One of the things that Jemiah mentioned was, if administration did not take them seriously, that those kids were going to do a campaign to halt the passage of the Tuscaloosa County School tax referendum that they're supposed to vote on February the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So when you brought up the tax referendum, that was tied into it. That was one of the things that they say that they would do if they're not taken seriously.
So I want to say that I commend those young people. Um, we met with them. We told them that we would support them, and when I got up to the school, they had their signs. They were ready. Um, of course, the media could not come on to school property. That's the reason why they moved to the edge of the street so that the media didn't have to come on school property and could listen to their speech and the speech delivered by Jemiah and listen to some of the things that they were concerned about in their school.
You know, we have to give credit what credit is due, and you know, transparency is very, very, very important when it comes to other people's tax dollars. Um, I think we can all agree that the Tuscaloosa County school system has not been as transparent as the city of Tuscaloosa school system or the city council. It seems like it's our way, no way, and that's the way it's going to be type attitude that a lot of people get from the Tuscaloosa County school system or from the Tuscaloosa County Commission. It's just our way, and this is the way it's going to be, and no transparency. I want to bring up, since we can talk to both things at the same time. This referendum that they're talking about, they're saying it's going to generate approximately $15 million, right? Back in 2009, I want to say it was, and I want to make sure I read it correctly before I say anything, because here again,
My thing is that there is a lack of transparency, and the lack of transparency is so obvious on the information that they do provide. It just says the Tuscaloosa County Commission, Tax Assessor's Office, and the Tax Collector's Office, and the License Commissioner's Office will follow the law on procedures regarding the election, levying the taxes, and adjusting the mileage rates and collection taxes. However, and it's always the however, it's just like the but. Specific questions and where the increased funds will be applied should be addressed to the County Board of Education. A Board of Education that a lot of people say they cannot even get a return email or phone call.
Yes. And Veronica, let me take you back to 2001. Okay, the Tuscaloosa County Commission approved a 4-0 vote extending 6 years of 1 cent sales tax for schools in the Tuscaloosa. The tax had been approved in 2001 for 5 years, and since then had been extended a year at a time. The tax bring the county system about $15 million a year, and the Tuscaloosa City Schools about $8 million. Don't sleep on that. We did that to get the schools more money. Now we are back at it again, talking about the proposed property tax will increase and add about another $15 million a year to the Tuscaloosa County school budget. And we go forward towards things such as more school resource officers. Stop. That's for the sheriff department to analyze and decide on what they need to do. That needs to come out of their budget. 2, increase mental health resources, art and music classes, career tech classes. They share that with the city school system. More elective classes, pre-K available to all students, dual enrollment scholarships. Why won't you do like the city school system? Join in with Stillman College. Join in with Shelton State. Join in with the University of Alabama. Join in with the University of West Alabama. Join in with those schools instead of trying to be independently. But anyway, construction of a countywide performing arts venue. That's what they want to do with the money. But you got Matthew Elementary over there, one of the oldest elementary schools in the school system. No one is talking about. It's not trying to even say, oh, we're going to take this money and build a new school for Matthew Elementary. Or,
Mm-hmm.
or the other school, I can't think of the name of it. It's, Inglewood. All the other older schools. You're not talking about trying to increase the visibility of the school for them, or a better surrounding for them, or Riverside. I think Riverside's still open too. It's another older school. So that's what they're saying they want to do with the money. But at the same time, it's going to only generate $15 million. So back in 2000, so
Go ahead.
Why is it only generating $15 million? And what have you done with the $15 million for the last 20 years?
I'm glad you asked. When you were reading off some of the things that they said that they wanted to do, the superintendent on January the 21st spoke for over an hour at the Tuscaloosa County Democratic Executive Committee meeting, lobbying something that she is restricted from doing for support for that referendum. She mentioned, well, Lakeview is really grown. They need to expand their school. Listen now, Lakeview. And then she talked about other schools that needed expanding. And let me break it down in layman terms. We gonna tax y'all, and we gonna go build up the schools in the affluent neighborhoods because we know stuff's gonna get real bad.
That's exactly what it is, Cecil, and that's why they told their state to contact the Board of Education, because they're not going to answer. They know they're not going to answer the questions. They know what's going to happen. They know what schools are going to benefit from it. So from people who have to vote on it, if they don't investigate further, if they're not informed, and they just go by contact the Board of Education, they go away thinking, well, it's going to help our schools. And even in some of the information online, it gives each zone. It gives the Brookwood zone. It talks about feeder schools. It gives the Northside High School zone. It talks about feeder schools. Hope, Hillcrest. But you can give those schools, and you can talk about the feeder schools, and they may even talk about some of the schools that we say definitely need this money. But it does not mean that the board is going to allocate it to those schools.
That's correct.
Exactly.
That's correct. And that's what I'm saying. The transparency of prioritizing what's going to be done with the money is kind of very important to me. I mean, if I'm fixing to pay an additional $300 a year for property tax, at least let me know that this money is going to be going toward, like I said, there are some areas, especially, and why is Northport always on the raw end of so many things? Crestmont Elementary, Matthew Elementary, Riverside Middle. It's like it don't exist. But that area is what? The western side of, I guess you can say, the district, the African American district in the Tuscaloosa County School System.
The low economic.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the low economic.
Matthew needs to be torn down.
So why won't you prioritize and say, hey, we want to give these schools a new school? That's what we're going to do with this money. We're going to help build up Northport. Y'all seen where Mayor Herndon was highly against it. I didn't really see the video. I just read some things saying he was highly against it because they was trying to do some other things with the funding. I think the transparency, and I don't know one school board member. That's a shame. I mean,
when you try to call one,
you're not going to get an answer.
We talked about that. One of the things that we talked about in the meeting on Saturday, and that, I know we kind of grouping everything together here, but everything kind of goes together because now we're starting to talk about repercussions for their actions on the program.
Right.
One of the things was it's hard to get in touch with any other board members or anybody in the county, period. And it's kind of like the what I got from and Lala and Veronica, y'all can tell me if y'all felt the same way. What I got from a lot of those young people was that they were feeling like when nobody listening to them, and they really truly didn't know what to do. They just shot, and everybody started listening to them on this one. But this stuff been going on for a very long time. Like that ain't nothing new, especially at that school.
Especially at that school. I had two kids to graduate from that school. Um, the things that went on there when my kids were there, was absolutely deplorable. But I will say this: they know who to pick with. Now, I feel like me personally, I feel like some of those students were targeted, because they feel like, oh, ain't nobody gonna advocate for you. But when I'm sitting there watching parents trying to get a response from him, I'm sitting there listening to parents trying to get a response from him. And he's not responding. And if you're watching his body language, he's very irritated that he's actually having to meet with them. And this right here pissed me off. He said, where they threatened some of the young people and told them, next year y'all won't even have a Black History program, you'll have a kindness program. Mm-hmm. So I asked them about it. So what is this I hear about y'all having a kindness program instead of the Black History? He said, this is the principal, Jeff Henry, speaking. The kindness program is a program that we put on every January. As long as I am the principal here at Hillcrest High School, you will have a Black History program in February. How about then I get someone saying, well, he said he wasn't going to be here because he's already been told that he's going to get the new Tuscaloosa County School Athletic Director position. Well, have they voted on it? It's a lot of things. These people act like they don't even know about the Sunshine Law. They already know who the new principal gonna be. Nothing has been voted on or discussed. So if he gets that athletic director position, you knew it was true. So when you stood there and you said as long as you were there that they were gonna have a Black History program, you already knew you were leaving. So basically you were sitting there trying to be funny.
Play on words.
Exactly.
And see, this is my thing. A lot of times people say what's going on in the outside world or outside of the confines of Tuscaloosa County have no impact on what goes on locally. That's so far from the truth. These people have this has been a culture at their school, but these people have become much, much bolder publicly because of the way of the world, the way of the United States right now. You have parents and they're ignoring parents. You have people that come community advocates and they're red mad, don't want to discuss it, or they lollygagging and telling you a bunch of crap that's not true. And they're doing it blatantly and bluntly. That's because of the culture of that's the culture of what's going on in this country. That's the culture of what's going on in this state as a red state, and that's the culture of what's going on in Tuscaloosa County. And it will trickle over into the city. It can. It can. I won't say it will, but it can.
Well, I think it already has. I think it already has.
It probably has, Lisa. It definitely probably has.
And there are some students that are upset in the city school system as well. But here's the thing. Again, You have schools where students feel like they don't have a voice. And it's not a dictatorship. In essence, when you think about it, the board seems to be protecting these individuals. It's like what is it when nepotism, just real bad nepotism. But the board is actually supposed to be there to represent the best interests of the students and parents because those are their constituents. That board is elected, and it sits there as a system of checks and balances and to hold people accountable. But that's not what's happening.
I want to make a comment that Brian Wells said the county school system needs to hire more African American teachers. Did y'all have a?
I totally agree.
That is absolutely true. The way we understand it, the way I understand this school we're talking about right now, only got 3 African American teachers there, and neither one of them have anything to do with any Black History programs or anything. So, and not necessarily that even had to be a necessity, but
it is a necessity. It's a cultural necessity because when you talk about our history, what you have to, not that you have to be Black to be able to comprehend it, but there are some things about our culture that we kind of like. You know it when you're if you're Black because it's commonplace. And so if it's not commonplace in your culture, you miss it. Like everybody know red is a flavor of Kool-Aid, right?
right.
Red is a flavor. So it's just little thing like that. Has somebody Black been in the decision making capacity, they would have known the difference between vulgar dancing and strut.
So,
But when you say strutting, I know what they think.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they think when they hear the word strutting. I know what they think. But I also know in the Black culture it has a different connotation. And they miss that. And they punish those children. They punish those young people because they didn't understand. Because they felt uncomfortable. Well, here's the thing: remove yourself from the decision-making capacity as it relates to the creative content of the Black History program. Put a Black teacher on it. I understood that there was a Black teacher over it, but she was kind of overruled by the white assistant principal. When the white assistant principal should have trusted her that she was educated and had just enough pride in that school that she would not permit there to be vulgar dancing in the Black History program. What does she think that? She thinks of her own heritage. This young lady said she invited her grandmother and her pastor. I promise you she wasn't going to be up there vulgar dancing in front of grandma and the pastor.
So,
and you know, the one thing that came out when they walked back that whole entire thing, there was the principal told everybody that went up there that was on the comms call that they were going to allow them to have a Black History program. They were going to allow them to talk about slavery and civil rights. And everybody that was in that meeting said allow. They said just like Lisa just said, just like allow. What you mean allow? That should be one of our rights to be able to learn about our history, about our culture. Well, what do you mean you're going to allow us to do this? They use certain words like that, like they doing us a favor. And they doing these young people a favor by teaching them the stuff that they need to be teaching.
That's just so egocentric. That to me tells me that there's still that slave mentality, and not on behalf of the students, but the administration. I'm gonna allow you. I'll tell you what's appropriate for the Black History program. Come on now. You ain't gonna participate. If your mama come up here and try to advocate for you, guess what? We're gonna punish you. You ain't gonna participate. We ain't gonna give you a reason, but we're just gonna say because I said so.
And that was the reason behind a lot of things that were said that the administration would do. And if you ask why, that was the answer they gave, because we said so. Like once again, these are young adults. These are they're supposed to be preparing themselves to go into the real world. A lot of them to the colleges and the trades. But they're going into the real world, and this high school supposed to be getting them prepared for that, and you still trying to treat them as though you have to do every little thing for them, like they can't make their own decisions. Yes, they supposed to be able to make their own decisions, and they should be able to know, hey, if I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, perhaps maybe I didn't know I was doing something that I wasn't supposed to do. Can you please let me know? And that shouldn't be such a difficult thing. They sent a young girl. Well, no, they sent a young girl home. Said with her outfit made her look like a lady that should have been standing on the corner on Saturday.
On Saturday night. You know who says that to a young person?
And she even offered to put on her. She's like, "Well, I got my tracksuit in my locker. I got a jacket I can put on over it." And they said, "No, we're gonna make an example out of you."
Also, that there was another student that was a white that had on a very similar outfit, but references were made to how her body is made.
I noticed.
In layman's terms, they off the chain down there. And straight, I don't know. In layman's terms, they off the chain down there. And it's just this thing about the Black History program has opened up the Pandora's box of what's been going on.
And that's the reason why when we was on the show last time, I said we don't need anybody going down there cooning. We needed some people that go down there, get in their face, not in a disrespectful way, but somebody that was going to demand answers. You're going to have to talk to us. We ain't sugarcoat anything. This is what we were told. And I promise you, you could tell by the demeanor of some of those students and how they reacted as they were telling their story, they weren't faking it. I mean, Veronica, you and Mike was there. Did y'all think they were faking it?
No, one young lady had to get up and leave. One young lady had to get up and she didn't leave church. She had to get up and leave because she was getting so emotional and telling the story. She had to get up and leave. And my thing is, I don't know what's happened yet with the young lady who had to take care of a feminine issue, who was written up because she had to take care of a feminine issue. So she was told not she couldn't go to the restroom, so she went anyway. Because her grandmother, she called her grandmother, let her grandmother know what was going on. So her grandmother informed her like anybody's mother or grandmother would. You go to the restroom. And this young lady was written up. And the write-up is still applies as far as I know. She was having to handle a feminine issue. But I was always taught, and I taught my kids, if you have to use the restroom, no matter what reason, you ask once.
And then you just
if you can hold it, you do what you can. The next time you go. Period.
Let's say she did sit there. Let's say she did sit there. Now you know, build up to the trauma of sitting there and being ridiculed because she don't sit there and sew up her clothes. Now, this wasn't even a man. These were females. So they already know.
That was what made it worse, especially with her situation. I forgot exactly what she said, but what she said was disrespectful.
Something
with the teacher.
You trying to show me some child pornography?
Right.
Yeah,
So yes, that's right. She went and did whatever she needed to do. As proof, tried to show her something. She didn't want to see child porn. So you wanted the whole classroom to see it then? You didn't want to see it on a camera. So she could not get this right up. But you wanted the classroom to see it.
Humiliating.
Because that's what would happen had she not gone to the restroom.
Kind of humiliating her. Either way.
Exactly.
You damn.
And see stuff like that, they'll make you want to fight. Because that happened to my daughter. It wasn't that issue that was going on, but they had coming from D.C. the last time before 9/11. That was the last trip they took for a long time. She's around maybe in the Birmingham area. She needs to use the restroom. We do have a parent who's volunteered to go, talking about her head hurting. What does your head hurting have to do with my daughter getting up, passing you to go to the restroom? Oh, baby, we made doodle in the northern parking lot. Who are you to tell anybody's child when they have to and don't have to use the restroom? And because you chose to go on this field trip and you're tired, my daughter walking past you, what was that going to do with all that noise that was going on that you claim had you so tired? And my daughter being a child, 10, 11, and then I got with her and got with the teacher because that's when the teacher should have stepped in. She's a parent. She didn't even have to go. That trip wasn't for her. Imagine had she soiled her pants and she's 11. Imagine trying to hold it from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa. That can feel like going to Atlanta. So imagine this young lady with her situation that was going on. Imagine how those are embarrassing. Those are things that people talk about at your class reunion. Who aren't mature.
I'm sure she was embarrassed wrong for just to get up and say something.
Exactly. No, that's good. So when I was there at the meeting, to me, you label this adult bullying.
Yeah.
Why is there a culture of adult bullying going on down there?
That's interesting. Adult bullying.
That's what it feels like.
Insensitive to the needs of the kids. And I guess the question is, my next question is, and someone asked, where are the parents? What's the parents' status of what's going on? I mean, have they came?
What's sad to me is that some parents inbox me after the fact, but I talked to them before the fact. Oh, they just like that down here. But then when the young lady made the news, had an interview with Jabari Pruitt on the news set, and then we had to walk out. Then more people want to inbox you now, and but y'all wouldn't say anything until stuff started to be a light had to be shared on it. Some of y'all are the parents who should have been shedding the light. I know some of you are discouraged because some parents have. Just like when Lisa was talking, some parents have been there. One of the young ladies said that they basically ignored her mother.
Left her sit. Oh, she went up there to address the assistant principal as to why her daughter could not participate in the Black History program. The assistant principal got up from the meeting, got up in the meeting, walked out the room, left them sitting there for over 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Finally, the principal came in and told them she was not coming back.
So I somewhat understand some parents being discouraged about thinking that they can get results, but at the same time, if I felt like that about a school, my child would be taken up out of there. Take them out of there. Start taking them out of there, and then they're going to wonder what's going on with this high school. And I know everybody can't move. But like a lot of those kids said, some of them are so glad they get out of school early and go on to work somewhere.
And they threatened them. They threatened them when they were talking about the Black the African American history programs, and everything else that we talking about right now, they told them young people that if y'all say or do anything, then we're gonna hold your diploma or we're gonna cancel your prom.
Cancel the prom, yeah.
Oh my.
They were concerned. That's one of the things that they were concerned about.
Now, how did you cancel a prom? Because it's an integrated school. So you can't cancel prom unless you plan on having a black and white prom. So unless you were going to cancel the whole prom for everyone. So what you're saying, because you're not going to cancel it for the Caucasian students. And we're just going to call it is what it is. A thing is a thing is a thing. It boils down to race. You're not going to tell them you're going to cancel a prom, then you know that's what it is. Because that school is not, they're not working on that way. They don't. Now, there are some schools in the deep south and other areas that have really rural areas that have a black prom and a white prom. There are. But they don't do that. To my knowledge, we haven't done it in the city or county schools here. So to tell them that was a scare tactic. Because the only way to cancel their prom is to not allow them into the prom.
Once again, if you'd like to join the conversation, you can call in. If you got a comment or make a comment relating to this issue or any other issue, you can call 310-6067, 205-310-6067. That'll get you in contact with us here on the program. Parents, students, whoever might like to call in, got comments, want to make a statement. So have anything, Lisa, I guess the question is now, has anything been accomplished?
So, we have a meeting. The superintendent has agreed to meet with us on the 23rd. I responded and said that this was an urgent matter, that part of our complaint was concerning the Black History, student participation in the Black History program scheduled for the 22nd. We are trying to organize, we're in the midst of organizing a second forum. And we would like with this forum, we want students to bring their parents with them so that we can talk to the parents. The parents need to know what's going on as well. A lot of parents said they didn't even know about the situation at Hillcrest. So we want the parents to sit there and so that together we can come up with some strategies as to how to push things forward in a direction in which it needs to be. One of the things that the students came up with were they're gonna come the next election. They're gonna try real hard, especially in their district, to get another board member. They said a board member, their school board member, is not supporting them. They're the constituents. Instead, that person in that seat is friends with the superintendent, friend with the principal, and could care less about the students at that school. So they said they're gonna vote them up out of there. And I think if they organize and they do it right, I mean, you got a whole class of graduating seniors, right? By the time the next election come around, you should be on another class, right?
That's right.
So that right there, that's enough numbers to get them up out of there. I think they said that the population over there at that school right now is 1,800. 1,800. So if you think about the seniors, and 55% of those being African American, if they got friends and family members that lived in that area to vote, they could very easily vote that person up out of there. Now, because y'all know that's my big thing. The problem with our elections is people not going to the polls, and that's how certain people get in. We have the numbers to get them out. People just not voting. So if they were to organize and follow through, they could easily get that person replaced. And I feel like the young lady that's being mistreated, I told her, you be old enough to run. You run for that seat.
So
and guess what? Now you're the principal boss.
So I just decided to go to the Tuscaloosa County Schools school boards website, and the president of the school board District 6 is Mr. Randy Smalley. District 2 is Mr. Joey Hokett. District 4 is Mr. Don Presley. Board Vice President District 1, Miss Portia Jones. Board Member District 3, Mr. Joe Calvin. Board Member District 5 is Mr. Neil Guy. And Board Member District 7, Mr. Bill Squires. So there's only one female, one African American. She consensus the whole shebang for us being an African American female, as well as the only female on the board itself.
If they ain't serving their constituents, vote them out of there. When we start making our elections about popularity, we'll move as a people. We'll see things getting done.
And it was definitely said that she doesn't advocate for them at all. She's one of the ones they can't reach. People just get elected and think they're just there to get a check or something. It's just kind of like on these. It's just like any other job. I guess some people want the check, they don't want to work. And before going into any seat that you're elected to, you should know that that's going to be work. It's not going to be easy.
So the Tuscaloosa County School has 35 schools. Superintendent is Dr. Carrie Johnson. She just recently, I guess, joined the school board coming from the Alabaster City Schools.
Is that the one that don't even live here, or then wouldn't put her kids in the system?
She present. Well, I guess so. I guess that's where she lives. I guess in Alabaster. I guess.
I mean, here's my thing. If you don't think enough of a system to put your own kids there, why are you working there?
Exactly.
I mean, if she were to say, hey, just for the money, I respect that more than I would a lie. At least you're telling the truth.
The Assistant District Administration Superintendent and District Administrator is Mr. David Patrick, Deputy Superintendent. Central Office Administrative Team. Chief School Financial Officer, Mr. Danny Higdon. Director of Assessment, Ms. Cheryl Wallace. Director of Child Nutrition, Ms. Christy O'Leary. Senior Director of Human Resources, Dr. Allison Mays. Director of Nursing, Ms. Cindy O'Quinn. Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. David Scott. Director of Special Education, Dr. Gwen Hartnett. Director of Information Technology, Mr. Michael Townsend. Director of Accountability, Ms. Jackie Hudgens. Director of Career Technical Education, Mr. Dennis Duncan. Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Daniel Bray. Director of Federal Programs, Mr. Mark Franks. Director of Maintenance, Mr. Jeff Cockrell. Director of Public Relations, Ms. Terry Brewer. Director of Student Services, Mr. Grady Hurst. And I don't think that's true. I think he's not there any longer. I think someone else is in that position. and Director of Transportation, Ms. Donna Christian. So this might be old information. It could be new other people in these particular positions, but I thought I seen on television the Director of Student Services was Mr. Ty Booker. Mr. Ty Booker, he was on television earlier today as the Director of Student Services. But it just seems that there's not that concern of other student populations. I mean, who if it wasn't for you all, who would exactly be speaking up for the students right now? Okay, Dion said Mr. Greg Hurst did retire.
I would hope that if not the people that have responded, that somebody else would. But knowing that those students gave a list of grievances, and that they had the courage to walk out, it's real disappointing when I see, and they ask that if they're not taking corrective measures, that people not support the tax referendum. And you see people in our community, I've been seeing it for the last all day, support the tax referendum. Our schools need it. Now, some of these people work in the school system. They know darn well that money ain't going to those students. They already know. So I feel like sometimes people get caught, grown-ups get caught up in their pettiness. So if you don't like me, Lisa, if you don't like me, Lisa Young, forget the students. I'm going to say, yeah, y'all go ahead on and support it. You know, or some other reason. But why not call down there and tell them y'all need to fix that mess, or if y'all want y'all tax, if y'all want people to support the tax referendum, why not do that? Why not send an email? Post the email. I sent this email and asked the superintendent to fix the mess over at Hillcrest, or to give it their immediate attention, or to get rid of the principal and the assistant principal.
I've been seeing a lot of these signs. Vote no. February 14th.
I've seen a lot of vote no's, but I've seen a lot of vote yeses. And it's funny because the majority of the vote no's are from white people.
Because it's from, at least I think we get caught up in well, if you don't get it, you're gonna lose it. Sometimes so all money ain't good money.
All money ain't good money.
They get caught up in you're gonna lose it, and they get caught up in want to appear as if they've done something or they've brought something.
But here's another thing: are these people posting vote yes? Don't they know that some of these students are looking at their Facebook pages as well and their social medias? And you are supposed to be like a community leader. So what is that saying to them? But then that's the reason why they feel ain't nobody advocating for them. That's the reason why it came to the point that they had to walk out. They had to get the media attention because there you said who would advocate for them. They gave a list of what else, and y'all still don't want to support them. I challenge everybody that's on social media saying vote yes for the tax referendum to post an email that they sent to the superintendent and to the principal. There you go. You ain't even got to call, just send them an email.
Well, here's the thing about it. They made sure, it's definitely, the vote is not for people that are zoned for Tuscaloosa City school systems. So they don't get to vote on this particular referendum. It's mainly
No, they don't.
it's mainly for the people for like you said, McCalla, Lakeview area, um, Tuscaloosa County areas over in Northport, up through Fayette, uh, Duncanville, 69 South here on 69 South area to the county line of Moundville, of Hill County, and down to Foster's area. So
It's probably District 6, right?
I don't know all the districts in the county as of right now, and I just know that that's District 4 over in Foster's area. Well, County Commission District 4. I don't know the school areas for its districts. I'm sorry, I don't know those. And I guess I need to learn those myself. But um, based on what they're saying they're going to do with the funding, more school resource officers. Yeah, do I believe we need school resource officers in every school? Yeah. But I don't think you're going to be able to put 35 deputies inside all the county schools. You only have 6 now. You already, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not even after that, but I noticed that they made that priority 1 as of to encourage people to vote yes for that. Number 2 was increased mental health resources. Okay, which resources are we talking about? What? And I'm not going to name any particular company, but I'm just saying what mental health resources. Be more specific on the resources.
I sure ain't talking about Indian River.
Well, I can't call any name. Art and
You don't call them, I will. They'll joke.
Art and music classes. Is that not something that's an elective already in the schools? Should be and always have been. I mean, and then construction of a county-wide performance art venue. There's nothing in there saying we're going to rebuild Riverside Middle School. There's nothing in there saying we're going to change. We're going to combine and combine Crestmont and Matthew Elementary School. There's nothing that's pertaining to Woodrow Washington's district. I'll put it that way. Nothing in Woodrow Washington's districts of Northport, District 2, in relation to doing anything positive for that particular school zone.
No, but if you look at it, they want to expand some of the schools that are already roughly new.
Like Lakeview, right?
They building their very own TCT over at Hillcrest, so they don't have to send their students to the city's technology school. They don't have their own down there in the county, Hillcrest. So and also, if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about a windfall of money that the state has for the schools. They got until next year to spend. If not, then it goes back into the federal treasury. Can some of that money be used right there instead of trying to raise them out of property taxes?
I'm not sure exactly what. Now, I seen one school system that talked about what they were going to do with them. I think they had like $32 million. I won't say they had $32 million.
I thought it was more than that there. I thought it was close to a billion, but
no, I'm just saying. No, I'm just talking about this specific school system. I want to say it was either Etowah or some section, but they already got it planned out because the deadline is in September. They already got it planned out what they're gonna do with the money, for as hiring new teachers, more teachers, and I want to say construction was included in that $32 million. So yeah, there's money still available. I'm not sure if the city of Tuscaloosa or the county school system got funding from that they're not using or talking about. But there again, these lists
of statewide. Supposed to be statewide.
I'm just saying the proposed tax increase for these particular things that's that's on the are they worthy? And I see. Okay, Lucretia Prince say the vote should be yes. Please call us 205-310-6067. Let's hear the other side of the story. But I'm just saying, is this particular vote important for those particular things when you have people in District 2 where Woodrow Washington and Northport schools are built in 1966 and 56 and 76. I mean, why can't they get new schools?
Good question.
The schools that look like they wanna redo. Well, like I said, the one thing that we were talking about in the meeting was not just a Black History program, but the actual changing of culture um, in the county schools. And you can give them, you can give a vote yes to this all you want to. It's not going to change the culture, and our kids are still going to be feeling the way that they're feeling. And once again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say kids. These young adults are going to be feeling the way that they're feeling, especially when they're being told that they can't do stuff that they should be allowed to do. And the reason being is because we said so. We don't want to, and that's all y'all need to know about it.
But
That is not an adequate enough reason
there again, Mike,
for.
I'm asking about the transparency of the $15 million that the school systems get from the 1 cent sales tax that they've been getting for.
You ain't supposed to be talking about that. You ain't supposed to let people know that they already get money that they ain't doing that with.
Or misallocating. I mean, I just want to know. Look. Me and Walt Maddox don't see a whole lot in agreement, but I do applaud him for the transparency of the spending of the money. Do I agree with it? I don't agree with it, or I do agree with it. But I do agree with him putting it in black and white and the transparency of the fact that city money is going here, 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 here. This is what I make. This is what the secretary make. This is what the police make. This is what the chief make. They tell you what every red cent of the city's money is going. I agree with that. We don't have that transparency with the county school system. We don't have that transparency with the county commission. We can't even join a meeting. You can't even have a meeting unless you take off work to be there at 9 o'clock. You can't even have a videotaped meeting of the county commission that you could go back and see on record. You can only read what happened.
And sometimes when you hear something like that off the top, off the rip, of course, help schools. But with any time money, thousands, especially millions of dollars are being given or a tax being levied on people or a referendum being passed for tax increases, you have to get the details. If they don't give you the details, anybody can say it's going to help the kids. It's going to help the schools. Anybody can say that. And we can say this in the fact that so many times those things have been passed and then you end up angry because it didn't go to what you were led to believe. It didn't go to the big picture when they said it's going to help the schools, it's going to help the kids. They fool so many parents and so many teachers and so many teachers even, but teachers are even some of the ones are saying no. They fool so many people by it's going to help the schools, and then when they pass it and your school or your district isn't helped, and you're still 100 years old, as they say, they hadn't had one a pass or an increase over 100 years. Okay, well, it's been 100 years, and say it goes up, and then these schools that really need it, like we said, what Inglewood, they don't get anything, or to get something basic and bare minimum. And then it's like, well, I thought, you thought because they said it's going to help the schools, but did you get down into the details of it?
Is not art and music an elective compared to the same? I mean, you look at number 3, art and music classes, and then you say more elective classes. Are they not? I guess considered elective. I don't know. It used to be or whatever it is.
You know, Daryl, that stuff is, but I'm thinking that means somewhere down the line and this is just me thinking this, somewhere down the line that they want to build their own school for the fine arts like the Tuscaloosa City Schools have. It seems like that's what they look and see, oh, they got that, we want one too. So we ain't got to send our students to that. We can just keep our students over here. We don't want them mingling with city and county. Now the reason why that is, who knows? But
I mean, as far as like a technology school, I wouldn't be against that because I think sometimes it puts the weight on the city to have kids coming from the county. If it's two separate systems, something like that, it seems okay. But it's just like for every okay, you got three or four. What are they thinking?
Well, let me ask you this right here. So if the parents, the school, well, the homeowners, they're within the city limits of the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Do this do this property tax increase their property tax of their homes also?
Not supposed to. No. It's just for those in the county.
Okay, so let me read some of the comments. Let's see. Belinda say the same reason all the money went to Northridge, and when it came down to Central, the money wasn't there. Period.
That part. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing. Most likely that would happen.
Dion said, "Good luck. If the vote goes through, it will be a slush fund, and whoever runs it, discretion with minimum oversight. You can't get answers now, so let it go through, and you sure won't get anything." So, like I said, it's. I think they held one meeting, and I think that was at Brookwood on a particular day. And while I'm talking about meetings, next Thursday, let me bring this up so we can make sure we be in place. On next Thursday, it's supposed to be I want to say the McDonough Hughes Center. District 2 of the city of Tuscaloosa will be having a town hall meeting at the McDonough Hughes Center. Hold on. Let's see who we lost here. Oh, we lost Veronica. So District 2 is supposed to have a meeting on the 16th, February the 16th at 6 o'clock in reference to the moving of the Liberty Recycling Center. Also in reference to the Benjamin Barnes Branch YMCA and something else. So we might be doing our show from the meeting, or I will probably go live from the meeting just to make sure we could, people that can't make it or have a great concern in relations to the Barnes Branch YMCA and the Liberty Recycling Center. And I think it was one other thing. So put that on your schedules for next Thursday, February 16th. But have we came up with a consensus on this vote for the property tax? Now let me give you my spiel. I agree that supporting our school systems, and I'm talking about the city and the county school systems, but I'm for more transparency of these fundings, and I'm for the fact that if there is a lack, there was nothing in the list about hiring, and I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the things you can't do with the funds or shouldn't list as part of the fund. If there's a lack of hiring of minorities for the Tuscaloosa County schools, then I have a problem. I have a problem with passing this school. But I know back in 2001, whenever they decided to keep going with the sales tax, here's the option. Here's the option. If the property tax don't generate then the county commission did decided back here not to vote on the 1 cent sales tax at that moment. So if they don't get the property tax passed, more than likely you're going to see a 1 cent sales tax increase by the county commission, which it means will give you the same $15 to $21 million right now if you do it that way. So I guess my thing would be, would I rather everybody pay the 1 cent, or do I want certain people to have to pay for their property taxes? When the city went up on the sales tax, that meant people that came from Birmingham, people that came from Hale County, people came from Pickens County, anyone that shops in our city limits, they had to pay that extra 1 cent sales tax. It wasn't punishing a person that lives in a particular area that owns a certain size of a home or a certain amount of property. It punished everybody that shopped in the city of Tuscaloosa. So I was in favor of a 1 cent sales tax, and I'm still not dissatisfied with it. I mean, a dime or another penny, 11 cents. I'm for that. But I'm more proud of the fact that the city of Tuscaloosa is more transparent with what they're doing with the Elevate dollars or whatever they call it with the money. They're giving it to their schools. They're investing in the athletic program. They're using it to do the dual school programs or scholarships or whatever. But can anyone tell me where our county dollars are going with the city's with the county school system? Yeah,
We might need to go to a county commission meeting and ask.
Well, we know they built.
We might need to go to a county. We might need to go to the county school board and ask.
Well, we know they built the new Sipsey Valley. We knew they built the new Brookwood. We knew they built the new Northport Middle School. We knew they built the new not Inglewood. What's the one over here by the Maccabee Center? Not the Maccabee Center. The secondary school. Or second graders go there or something like that. I can't. We know they built the new Duncanville Middle School. So we've seen the area schools. There's a new school in Bibb County. I mean, not Bibb County, Buell area, I want to say. So we've seen the expansion of what the $15 million can do over the past 20 years. But tell us where the next 20 years of the $15 million is going to go, other than on those particular things. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Eatman said the flyers say Central High School. I'm sorry. That is correct. It's not the McDonald Hughes Center. It is Central High School. Central High School. And Belinda said there's a Big Sandy Elementary School that was built. So, there again, District 2, Northport, Woodrow Washington area, or that particular segment of schools have been neglected with new buildings. But at the same time, I guess some people gonna say, well, they getting failing grades at these particular areas. At the same time, I guess they ask the question of why build new schools when they failing. No, give them some pride about it. If you're gonna build new schools at Big Sandy, if you're gonna build new schools in Duncanville, if you're gonna build new schools at Sipsey Valley, if you're gonna build new schools at this particular one, build new schools for everybody. And say that's what you're gonna do with the funding. We built a new Hope High School, but they had to fight and scratch and dig. And I applaud those parents from Hope High School for making sure they finally got a brand new Hope High School. Brookwood, a brand new high school. Sipsey Valley, brand new high school. Tuscaloosa County High, brand new high school. Hillcrest, brand new high school. But we still don't have a Crestmont or a Matthew Elementary or Riverside, Collins Riverside new schools. Once again, that's just my opinion. If you like to make a comment or if you like to call in, if you want to vote yes, hey, vote yes. But
And if you want to vote yes, like explain to us, because sometimes nobody knows everything.
that's
If
true.
you want to vote yes and you are privy to something that
More if
would make somebody rethink or think about it, or that would let us know something, because it's really the unknown. It's known that, like I said, the tax assessor's offices is on the county commissioner. All these people will are going to be responsible for the vote and managing it, but contact the board to know how the money will be spent. That's what they're telling the public on the public notice that I see. And then you can't even contact the board about kids not being able to put on a program. And that's not the only thing you can't contact them for. That was the big thing about, that was just one of the big things. Like I said, there was a Pandora's box. You can contact with these people act like they act like I say it all the time, but when they get to certain offices or certain positions and just certain people, they act like they're celebrities. It's almost like there's a gatekeeper, like you can't get through. There's not even a gatekeeper. They don't make themselves available to the community that they're supposed to be serving. Or everything is email, 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 and then they give you these dates that are past the dates that you need to know the information.
And let's not forget, she stood up there and talked about the schools that she talked about were not any of the schools that Darryl mentioned that need to be replaced.
Right. Well, Lakeside, what is the Lakeview?
Lakeview,
schools that were basically kind of new.
To be fairly new.
Mm-hmm. So if it should be a yes, explain to us why it should be a yes, or tell us where we'll be able to find the information that says this much is going to be allocated towards Matthews. Was it? Is Lord knows that was that the name of it? Is that still? That's
no,
all
Lord
the schools I've seen within that city limits over there look horrible.
Well, Lord Wood now is the other school that where the
they kind of did they do a combination? They did a middle school. What did they do? I know they did something.
The school that was across the street from Matthew. I can't think of the name of it right this moment. Where the
right
for I think that's where Lord Wood is now. That's what they use Lord Wood for.
Okay.
I can't think it. What's the name of that school? And it was for the disabled kids and I'm not sure whatever all was going over there, but that's was across the street from Matthews Elementary. But you got Crestmont, you got Matthews, you got Collins Riverside, all being elected. I think they closed down. Did they close down Eccles Middle School and move it to the Northport Middle School, or is it? I'm not sure all of it going on. Sprayberry. Dion know who I'm talking about. There you go. Longwood is Sprayberry now. That's what the school is. It's the Sprayberry School. So let's just be realistic about the funding. I mean, if I'm getting all kinds of texts and inboxing.
Well, I was thinking, if everybody advocating for it, if we can't get in touch with people to ask how the money has been allocated, like we need, if they can't say, put it in writing, we're going to do A, B, C, D. That's what we're using these funds for. And we can speculate, but when they're not being used for schools and students, who do we hold accountable?
The county school system, the superintendent.
You can't get, but
that's who is asking for this particular increase for the property tax. The school board. This is not actually a county commissioner's advocate for the increase of the property tax. This is coming from the superintendent who he did a presentation to the county commission asking for a referendum to allow the people to vote on an increase of a property tax. And we're talking about a 8 mil property tax, which will going to increase some people's property taxes from this. They say if the plan is approved, someone who owns a home or property with the assets of $100 will be valued to pay about $75 more per year. Someone who owns a home with $200,000 assessed value will pay about $150. Someone who owns a home or property with $300,000 assessed value will pay about $250 per year in additional, and on and on and up. And everybody know Tuscaloosa County is one of the highest counties when it comes to property value in the state. But Alabama alone is one of the lowest paying property tax states in America. But there again, let's ask that we have more transparency of where this money is going to be going, what is going to benefit for us. I mean, some of these things she's advocating for, these are things that your school should already have. I can see if you were asking, are they not asking for a better broadband system, for Wi-Fi for the rural areas that the kids that live in fosters that probably don't have Wi-Fi or have access to a good internet system. Are you asking for that? Remember when schools went out? I mean, when COVID was in, you had complaints about the kids' Wi-Fi wasn't as great of getting their homework done. They had to all go to a certain location just to chime in on the Wi-Fi. Just do it.
And just, to the average person, when you look at the list of things that they list, those things sound like great things. Like I said, there are the more school resource officers and building security improvements, pre-K available to all students, smaller class sizes. No, I'm looking at dual enrollment scholarships, more electives and career tech options. So are they, I guess they're limited now. Art and musical classes for elementary schools, which they do already have art and music, unless, maybe, I don't know, never been to county schools, maybe they don't. Increase mental health resources. What do you mean? More therapists in the school, more social workers? What do you like? So what do you mean? Because those things sound good superficially, but specifically in the plan, in a layout plan in black and white, which schools? Which schools? Because when you allow people to just do whatever with money and you say it's for this, and once that thing passed, it's just like, it's kind of like with the lottery, when they were trying to pass the lottery here, putting it in a general fund. It meant they were going to do whatever they want to do with it. So, which schools? Like, so for the yes people, like, if they have more details, I wish they would call in and give more details.
But you're being so broad with this. I mean, like you say, increase mental health resources. Give me more. Give me some idea of what direction you're thinking. More school resource officers. That means you're going to have to hire more deputies.
Mm-hmm.
You would think the sheriff would be asking or advocating for more for the more deputy situation.
Unless they plan on doing a private security.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Construction of a countywide performance art venue. But that's my take on it. I mean, if y'all find it to be worthy to go up on your property taxes based on these circumstances, like I said. But let's look at other school systems.
I don't see anything about more teachers. I mean, will it be more teachers? Which school will those teachers be? Will it provide smaller classroom settings? It says smaller class sizes, but how would that be? Will it be because you have more teachers?
There again, and I'm just proud of the fact that you can see and hear and visualize things that are going within the city schools. Okay, just recently, the superintendent approved, well, the school board and the superintendent approved that the interns would help out with the shortage of school teachers in the city school system, and they're paying them. Why wouldn't you list that as something to say, hey, we got a shortage of school teachers in the city, in the county schools, and we want to use this funding to help with hiring of new teachers as well as interns to to be a part of our school system. We need the fund to generate things of that nature. I mean, Dr. Derry and the school board, they're being upfront with the funding of how it's being, where it's coming from, and how it's going to be used. And they said those particular interns must sign a contract with the Tuscaloosa City Schools after they graduate. I mean, that's just being straight up front with everybody. That's letting you know where your tax dollars are being used and what it's being used for. There again, do I agree with everything Elevate does? No. But at least it's transparency that, okay, this being done, this being done, this being done. And I'm probably not going to agree with everything going to be said at next Thursday's meeting about the Barnes Branch YMCA. I'm probably not. I'm probably not going to be. But at least they landed on the table. This is what we got. This is where it's going to go.
Hey, Daryl.
Yes.
I sent you on your phone. I sent you a message that shows there's also a meeting on the 20th. Did you see it?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. Mm-hmm.
And that was sent certified mail from the city.
Okay, yeah.
On February the 20th at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, public hearing on February the 20th. I see it. And this is
like the Benjamin Barnes YMCA.
Yeah. A resurvey of Block 1, Carlton and unplated land, consisting of 4 lots. 4 lots on approximately 53 acres located at 3101 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and 2621-2623 Carlton Road, Council District 2. So 3101 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, that is the McDonald Hughes Center.
That's the McDonald Hughes Center. But it said 52 acres. I don't see no 52 acres, do you?
Well, I'm fixing to zoom in and figure out. You remember back here a couple months ago, I videotaped coming up the street, and it wasn't the houses across the street. It was the dump area back there, the old water treatment area that was vacant. That I was thinking that they would utilize as in the trailer park as areas of interest of expansion. So maybe that's what's going to come to light. I don't know.
So the person that was sent to live on Beach Street.
Oh, so that means them trailers finna go. Some finna go.
And there's a piece of property over there that the city has been improving for a while.
It's something finna go. Cause we said
Beach Street.
We said the houses, because they were upgrading those houses. They got Habitat houses on the other side of, is that Ash Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we knew it wasn't enough room to put it over there.
Right. So when they were giving us the diagram of possible parking and extending the baseball and soccer field and all that, I'm saying they invest in new homes over in this particular, rebuilding these homes. So it's not going across the street. It got to go back to the trailer park in the old water treatment area.
So they could probably take all that property by eminent domain.
It's possible.
Mm.
It's possible. Now the city owns, I'm assuming the city, could be the county, that water treatment plant area back to the Carlton Park zone. You, like I said, I drove it back there, and I drove back there one right before they was talking about expanding this YMCA over to that area, and I was just thinking like, okay, you got the water treatment plant that goes to Carlton Road. That stuff goes all the way to Carlton Road, where you seen that budget trucks and all that was back there. Up
Mm-hmm.
to all that. So I'm thinking that's possibly gonna be reused or reinvented or something. I don't know, but Thursday, Thursday. Let's go over and get more information about what's going on with that as well. A consensus of the vote. I mean, they could do a better job with the vote for February the 14th. And I wonder why would you pick a day of this magnitude to say this was a good day to vote? Would that be challenged?
Increase turnout.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, I was sitting there when the superintendent jokingly said, maybe some people are staying home.
Hmm. You know, some people take Valentine like birthday. They expecting big things. It's almost like Christmas.
Yeah.
They're expecting gifts.
Yeah, man, they getting everything all did up because a lot of them have made some sort of plan.
Yeah.
For Valentine's Day.
Dinner and a movie and Valentine candy and an outfit and might go out to a show or something. You ain't got time to be talking about running down here to vote. But anyway, it's in stone. It is this Tuesday, February the 14th. The vote is to take place, and I, you know, I can't persuade anyone to vote whichever way they think. I just think there could be more transparency of this particular money, this an additional $15 million, estimated $15 million. But if you raise the 1 cent sales tax, you'll probably get $21 million. So where you get those numbers from, Daryl? Well, we talking Northport, we talking city, we talking about county. If it generated from 2001 $15 million a year then, and with the increase of more people in the city of Tuscaloosa and in the county areas, then you probably going and the cost of more things, the higher prices, then you probably gonna generate more money. Hey, I applaud the students that took a stand for what was right, and like you said, it wasn't all about just the Black History program. It was about a whole lot of other things that weren't shared in the light. It was something that they was holding within. And I'm certain that Hillcrest ain't the only school that deal with these type of situations, especially in the county high schools, Tuscaloosa County high school systems. There's other schools, but there again, I applaud them. I keep telling people the new generation of youth are no longer gonna just take this harsh punishment or ultimatums. And I'm gonna say this. One guy, I was talking in conversation about people not working, and the young lady said, "Well, I got the job. It's a good job, but it's not the job. It's the people that running the job." And when the boss told me, when the supervisor told me I got to come to work, you know what I told him? I said, "What'd you tell him? I ain't got to do a GD thing." And she said, and she meant that. She meant that. She said, I said, I ain't got to do a GD thing, and took them their uniform and said, bye. That's the mentality. That's the mentality that, these people, young folks are like, hey, you're going to talk to me with respect, and you're going to give me my dignity. You're gonna treat me like I need to treat you. I'm going to give you your respect. But you're not going to give me an ultimatum and say, I got to. She said, they said, I got to. Like I had signed a contract or something with them. I said, and you know what? She got another job.
It's kind of funny, and then it's kind of not funny because sometimes you got to take it as to who your person is and when they say it, how they say it.
Yeah.
Because we want them to know what it is to be respected, but we also want them to also remember to maintain respect and respect your elders. And sometimes it's like some of them are so feisty. It's like
spicy.
You can't stop feisty.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
It's spicy.
But
She's spicy.
sometimes if they say we got to do a jiggy thing, it just took me because I said I'm thinking to myself. So she don't know what she gonna do home. She knows she knows her mom in the house.
That's right. That's right. She got options. She said she had options.
But when are you going to learn to be able to deal with people that do approach you like that? So I guess it's kind of like a teacher thing. We got to teach them to do the way they did at Hillcrest, to do it respectfully and do it everything in order. And sometimes things are going to be said that you don't like, but you do have to still work your job because what if mom and dad say, well, you can't come here because you're grown, you're just going to have to learn how to communicate. So I think communication is key, but sometimes some of them do have a point, and it depends on every situation is different. Because some people can be some, and if something about it is telling you a certain way, then you don't have to work. Even if you don't have a job, you don't have to work. But I think sometimes some of them get so headstrong still. Like Lisa said, they are young adults, but they are still minors.
Yes, yes.
So I never give them that so much of a you're an adult till they think that they're truly grown. Because as we know, it used to be your mind is not completely formed until you're 21. Now they're saying 25, and everybody is different. Some people may be fine at 18, but they still have to have those communication and negotiation skills. I could just see somebody saying it though, and I would be tickled. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
And she meant that when she told
she ain't got to do what she did.
She meant that when she said it, and she said she took that uniform on right on back to him. Sure did. That's what she told me. I said, well, y'all, this has been an interesting conversation. I appreciate the ones that chimed in, and those of you that commented, and those that know more.
Well, I see our District 2 representative is talking about the 2004 protests. Are you serious? Why are they trying to compare? Raven Howard led the 2004 protest. Oh my God. And this is where the protest took place. The students staged the walkout and walked nearly a mile and a half to the Tuscaloosa City School central office. Now, see, that's what I don't like. This is not oh, look, we did it too kind of thing. Keep the attention, keep it on Hillcrest today, with what's going on today. They're literally doing a story on this on WBUA.
Well, we're gonna ease on. I appreciate everybody that chimed in. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. Y'all have a great weekend. And we'll take it up on this on Tuesday. We should have an idea on Tuesday what way the vote went already. So by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we should know what way the vote went. If I had to really if I was taking bets on it, I would say it would not pass. Reason I say that, most areas for Shelby County and all these other counties that presented their communities with property tax increase, they rarely pass when it comes to property tax increase. So,
and that's why she jokingly said that she wanted people to stay home, or she hoped people stay home, because the fewer people that turn out, the more likely they'll be able to get their vote the way they want to go.
So we'll see. That's just, if I was a betting man, I would say it would probably go no. That would be me. But y'all enjoy. We appreciate everyone that chimed in. And as Mr. Morgan said, just because I disagree with you does not mean that I hate you. We need to relearn that in our society. It's okay to disagree. It's okay. Everybody don't have the same opinion. Some agree and some disagree. So that's it for tonight, y'all. Y'all have a great night and y'all have a great weekend. And we will talk on Tuesday, February the 14th. We will have a show, I think. Yeah, we'll have a show.
You better ask this McKinstry.
Good. We'll have a show. I already got a plan for this. So we'll have a show, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right, good night, y'all.
Tuscaloosa, get ready for the TTown Memorial Day Weekend Blues and Grill Festival, Saturday, May 27th at Pelmore Park, featuring O.B. McKenna, Avail Hollywood,
Is you 25 and
Arthur Young, Tucker,
They call me Tucker.
TK Soul,
don't try me.
Miss Jody,
Me right.
plus Donnie Ray and the J. Morris Group. Also a special